Hello and welcome to day 2 of the 7-day money challenge. Welcome back if you've done day 1. Great to have you back, and I hope you've done the exercise that we covered off yesterday. For any new viewers that are coming through seeing this video for the first time, please go ahead and watch day 1, because this is about us building a strong house and we're working on the foundations at this moment in time. So if you just do step 2, but you've not done step 1, then when we come to start doing day 3, day 4, you're going to have a gap because you're not going to have all the information. So go back and watch day 1 and then come back to this video. So for those of you that have done day 1, well done, pat on the back, because you've started the journey. You have made the commitment to yourself that you want to change your relationship with money, and you're taking action. You're showing up and you're doing the exercises. So I celebrate you, I see you, and I applaud you for doing that, because I know that is a big step for a lot of people. So today, the focus is about, well, in order for us to know what we want to change, we need to understand exactly where we are. So yesterday it was about the thoughts, the mindset that we have around money, the feelings, and what actions we may or may not be taking as a result of that. Today we're going to take that pen and paper again, and we're going to do a different exercise. Now this might prove fairly challenging to a lot of people, because most people do not have a budget. Most people are unaware of exactly how much money is coming and leaving their bank account at any given time. So I'm going to ask you to go into your banking app, or you find your bank statement, but you go in to the current account or the bank account that you actually pay all your bills from. And if you've got multiple bank accounts, you're going to have to go into multiple bank accounts to actually capture that information. And what I want you to do is, on that piece of paper, I want you to absolutely capture absolutely everything that you are spending in a month. Let's start on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. And if you've got ad hoc payments that come out every quarter or twice a year, however often, it's about capturing everything. So probably the easiest thing is going into your banking app, looking at your transactions, taking a month, and then sort of looking across the full year to see, is there anything that was ad hoc, annual, whatever, and it's capturing everything. Now, there are a number of tools and spreadsheets out there that have got stuff that you would need to adjust your headings, because this is where it's bespoke to you. So I'm going to give you some headings, but I'm not giving you a spreadsheet, I'm not giving you a workbook. I want you to do the work. And the reason for that is because if you write things down in pen and paper, or if you type it up, it is going into your subconscious, because you're doing that repetition. You'll be watching this video, potentially stopping, starting, or taking some notes as you're going along this, and then you're actually going to do the exercise itself. And this is where it's vitally important that you take this action and you make it bespoke to your needs. The headings that I'm going to cover off are around home. You either have a mortgage if you own the property, or you might be paying rent, or there might be some other arrangement. You might have a lease, but you'll be making payments of some sort, unless you are in a fortunate position where you own your property outright. Then you will have a number of bills that you're paying, utilities, which might be gas, electricity, some other form of energy. It could be your broadband, Wi-Fi, your phone if you've got a landline, or it could be your mobile phone. Insurances associated with your property, whether it is a home and buildings and contents insurance that you may have. There could be other insurance products that you also have, life insurance, some health insurance. There could be fees associated with your property as well. If you live in the UK, there is council tax. Certain areas also have factoring fees, and there could be some additional fees. I think some areas potentially charge out with the council tax, water charges as well. So capture absolutely everything that applies to you regarding your home living situation. Then the next category is car or transportation, or if you've got a motorbike or another kind of vehicle. And it's, do you have any repayments on that? Do you have servicing costs? Is that something that's a monthly or an annual kind of cost that you've got incurred? Do you pay for MOT? And because certain kind of bands of cars will have MOT and others may not have. Insurance, I hope everyone's got car insurance or vehicle insurance if you actually own one. Then do you have any kind of recovery costs associated? Do you have AA or green flag or whatever other assistance, roadside assistance you may have? Is there any other fees other than annual service costs, or if you're actually doing road tax is another one, DVLA in the UK. So if it's international that you're watching it, there will be local government schemes that you might be having to pay for your vehicle. It's about capturing all that information. Then you could have other bills, and other bills will be your food bills. It could be any fun activities that you may be undertaking. There might be some subscriptions that you're you might have Amazon Prime, for instance. You might have Netflix. You might be having TV packages through Virgin or Sky or another provider. You could be paying for apps. You could be paying for storage in terms of, like, I've got an iPhone, so I pay for storage for the iCloud, and there could be a number. So it's about writing down all the subscriptions that you're actually paying. Now, some of these might be monthly, some might be ad hoc that you're actually doing it. You might have Spotify or Apple Play, and you might just buy them and subscribe and come off them other months. Whatever it is, capture all the spend that you're actually incurring. Then you may have some loans that you're repaying, whether it is your mortgage. If you've already covered that up in your home, don't rewrite it down here. We don't want to double count. But you could have other loans that you're paying. Are you paying off your holiday, or are you paying something else off that you've bought? Have you bought any furniture that you've got either a repayment agreement in place for? Do you have any credit cards? Are you clearing the credit cards on a monthly basis, or are you got a 0% interest and you're just paying little bits each month to get the balance down? Do you have an overdraft? Is there any bank charges, any other fees that you're incurring? Now, I'm giving you a whole raft of different costs, bills, expenses, but you will have the ones that are bespoke to you, and it's about you writing that down, typing it into an Excel spreadsheet, a Word or a notepad, wherever you want to, but you've actually got all that information captured. Then what you want to do is capture what day of the month or the year that you're actually needing to renew, or when that money is actually leaving your bank account. And that information is going to come in handy when we're looking in the following days, where there's some other exercises that we can actually do which will help you be able to sort of like see how much money you're spending. Today, the other side of this equation is how much money is coming in. What is your salary? What is your take-home income? So if you're self-employed, there will be sort of national insurance and tax and some business expenses that could be coming off. If you're running your own business, some of the subscriptions might fall under the business, and if it's under a limited company, it might be separately documented. So we don't want double counting, but at the same time, I'm making the assumption that the majority of you watching this video are either employed or you're self-employed, and you're probably a sole trader, solopreneur, and you don't necessarily have a company business bank account separate from your personal current account. And on that basis, if you are falling into the category that you've got a separate business, you treat that as separate from this specific exercise that we're doing. This is about your personal finances and getting a handle on that. If you've got a business and you want to manage things differently, then let me know in the comments, and then I could do a different kind of video for that, because there's different types of expenses that you would be capturing under that than what I've just covered off here. So once you've got all your expenses, you know what day of the month or what month of the year these are due to be paid, then what we also want is to capture how much income have you got. Now, if you're getting paid every 4 weeks or once a month, that figure might be the same, it might be a flat figure. In other instances, if you're doing overtime or if you've got a side hustle that's got a bit of variable income, things might be a little bit more kind of up and down. It might not be a straight line. So it's about you looking at what income you had over the past 12 months to give you an indication of how you expect your income to be offset against your expenses. And then we're doing a simple maths calculation where you've got all your expenses, you add them all together, and for argument's sake I'm going to say it comes to £1,000. I'm going to use pounds for this illustration, and then your income, I'm going to say it comes to £1,200. So there's 3 options. It could come to £1,200 and you offset the 1,000 of expenses, and then you're left with £200 extra. Or it could be that you earn £1,000 and your expenses are £1,000, and that leaves you 0. So there is no extra money left at the end of the month. And the third situation is where you earn £900 in income but your expenses are 1,000, in which case then you've overspent by £1,000, and that might be because you've got either a loan or you've got a credit card, or you're managing it by asking people, friends, family to support you in order to cover that expenses, and you're constantly in arrears chasing your tail. Whatever the situation you're in, the changes that we're going to start instilling from day 3 onwards will get you into a position of being in a positive. So your income should exceed your expenses. And if that isn't the case, then we'll start exploring how can we increase your income to get you into that scenario, because that is where we want to be, that we're living within our means, but we can make those means more expandable. And that is where there is a lot of content on YouTube of side hustles, additional jobs, and if you're on benefits, that's another kind of potential. I know internationally that might not necessarily be the case, but here in the UK there is a benefit system, and some people might not be earning income from employment or through their own business. It might be that they're actually getting benefits from the government or the local councils that they reside in. And it's about knowing what your income is, or what your benefits are, what your expenses are, and seeing what that net position is. Are you a little bit extra cash? Are you break even, that you just, the in and the out balances itself out and there's not a single penny left after? Or are you in a situation where you don't earn enough and your expenses are too high? And this is not about being judgmental, it's not about being unkind, it's just facing the facts. We need to know where you are at this moment in time, so then over the next few days you can start making choices and decisions of how can we change this. So once again, thank you for watching this video, for taking the action, for making the time to do the exercises after this video. It's because you making that conscious decision to take action is what is going to change your relationship with money fundamentally. So this is us concluded building the foundations. We've got the mindset where our fears, blocks and stories are, the feelings associated with it, the actions that we may or may not have taken. And today it's about understanding where are we from an expenses and an income perspective. So please take the time and do this exercise. it is absolutely imperative to no longer avoid, ignore, and pretend and deny that things aren't the way that they are. Once we take the blinkers off and we see the reality of where we are, then we can start making changes. So this is the foundation of our house built. Okay, so I'm going to bring it to a close. Thank you for watching. Go out and seize the day. Get the piece of paper and the pen and write down all your expenses and your income. Do that little subtraction of income minus expenses to get your net position, and whichever of the three categories it is, just accept it. That is where you are at this moment in time, but you have got the power to change that, and that's what we're going to do over the next few days. So go out and seize the day, take the action, and remember, you have got the choice to make the changes necessary for your relationship with money and everything in life to be what you want it to be. So until tomorrow, bye.